That dead lavender in your garden bed right now, the brown, woody, split-open one you keep telling yourself will bounce back, it is not coming back. And here's the part the garden centers will never say out loud. It was probably never going to survive in your garden in the first place. Lavender is a Mediterranean plant. It evolved on sun-blasted, rocky, alkaline hillsides with bone-dry summers and mild, dry winters. Now look at where most of America gardens. Humid summers, clay soil, acidic ground, wet winters, snow sitting on the crown for weeks. Lavender does not just dislike those conditions, it dies in them. Root rot in clay, fungal collapse in humidity, winter kill in wet cold. That is why you have bought lavender 2, 3, maybe 4 times and buried every single one. The plant was never wrong. The marriage was. But here is what nobody tells you while they keep selling you replacement lavender. There is an entire world of fragrant perennials that deliver everything you actually wanted from lavender. The scent that stops you on the path, the blooms that return every single year while genuinely thriving in the real conditions of American gardens. Humidity, clay, cold, neglect. Some of them get more fragrant the less you fuss over them. Today on Golden Grove Garden, 9 fragrant perennials you have almost certainly never been told about. Not the recycled list every channel repeats. 9 genuine discoveries, including one whose flowers smell exactly like chocolate every morning, one that releases its perfume only after dark, and one at number 9 that produces so much flammable fragrance oil you can literally light the air above it on fire. That is not a metaphor. We will get there. Pull the dead lavender. Something better is coming. Let's go. Before we start, confession time. How many lavender plants have you personally killed? 1? 3? More? Drop your honest number and your USDA zone in the comments, because I want everyone scrolling past to see they are not alone, and your zone tells me exactly which of today's 9 plants will thrive where lavender kept dying on you. Before the plants, the 1-minute science that explains today's entire list. Lavender's fatal weaknesses in most of America are 3: wet roots, humid air, and acidic clay soil. Its Mediterranean biology has no defense against any of them. Every plant on today's list was selected because it solves at least 2 of those 3 problems. Most solve all 3. These are perennials with either North American native genetics, meaning they evolved in exactly the humidity, soil, and winters you actually have, or old world species from climates that genuinely match ours. And on fragrance, a quick principle that changes how you use every plant today. Plant fragrance comes in 2 forms. Broadcast fragrance, released freely into the air, carried on breezes, filling whole spaces. And contact fragrance, released when leaves are brushed or touched, perfuming paths and doorways. Today's list includes both, and I will tell you which is which, because it determines exactly where each plant belongs in your yard. Here are the 9. Starting with number 1, chocolate flower. Berlandera layrata. And no, the name is not marketing. This North American native wildflower produces yellow daisy blooms that release a genuine, unmistakable cocoa fragrance, strongest in the cool of early morning, drifting across the garden like someone is baking brownies at dawn. The chemistry is real. The flowers produce aromatic compounds closely related to those in actual cocoa. On still mornings, an established patch scents the air 10 to 15 feet away. Now the effort part. This plant is native to the American Southwest and plains. It thrives in poor soil, blazing sun, and drought. The conditions that stress most perennials are its home turf. Once established, it needs essentially nothing. No fertilizer, no soil amendment, minimal water. And it blooms from late spring until frost. Months of chocolate mornings for 0 effort. Broadcast fragrance, plant it near a breakfast patio, a bedroom window, anywhere you are outside in the morning. Full sun, sharp drainage, zones 4 through 10. Number 2, and this one shocks people. A fragrant hosta. Hosta plantaginia, the August lily, is the only hosta species with genuinely powerfully fragrant flowers. In late summer, it sends up enormous pure white trumpet blooms, 4 inches long, that release a rich, sweet honeysuckle jasmine perfume, strongest in the evening. And here is why it earns its place. It solves the problem no other fragrant plant on any list solves. Shade. Lavender demands full blazing sun, August lily delivers serious fragrance in the shaded corners where nothing aromatic normally grows. The north side of the house, under trees, the dim bed by the back door. Effort level. It is a hosta. It comes back bigger every year for decades, asks for nothing but moisture, and the variety Aphrodite adds double flowers with even more scent. Broadcast fragrance, evening activated. Plant it beside the door you use on summer nights. Part shade to shade. Zones 3 through 9. Number 3. Sweet Violet. Viola odorata, the fragrance that built the entire French perfume industry, growing as a no-effort ground cover in American shade. This is the violet of legend, the one Napoleon adored, the one whole perfume houses and grass were founded on. The scent is soft, powdery, unmistakable, and it arrives in earliest spring, weeks before almost anything else blooms, when a fragrant flower feels like a miracle. The famous quirk, violet fragrance, contains IN1, a compound that temporarily numbs your scent receptors. You smell it intensely, it vanishes, then returns moments later. The violet literally plays hide and seek with your nose. That disappearing act is real chemistry, and it is why the scent never becomes tiresome. Effort, none. It spreads politely into a low evergreen carpet, thrives in shade and ordinary soil, and returns for generations. Plantings at old homesteads are often older than the houses. Contact and close-range fragrance. Edge a shaded path where you walk in April. Part shade. Zones 4 through 9. 3 plants in, a native that smells like chocolate at breakfast, the only hosta that perfumes the shade, and the violet that built French perfume houses. Not one of them on the recycled lists. This is the discovery level depth Golden Grove Garden brings every single week. Subscribe right now, free, 2 seconds, and it finds you automatically. Number 4, Bearded Iris. And I can hear it, I know iris. But most people have never once smelled one. Because modern breeding chased color and ruffles and quietly abandoned fragrance. The fragrant varieties are a revelation. Heirloom and scent-bred iris carry perfumes ranging from grape soda to vanilla to root beer to true sweet floral. Mary Frances, Dusky Challenger. The old purple heirloom iris at abandoned farmhouses. Lean into one and it is genuinely startling. The no-effort case is overwhelming. Bearded iris survives on neglected homesteads for 50 years with zero human care. Drought-proof rhizomes, deer-proof foliage, thriving in the clay that executes lavender. The single rule, plant the rhizome shallow, its back exposed, to the sun, and do not mulch over it. Close-range broadcast fragrance. Plant a fragrant clump beside the front walk in bloom season and watch visitors stop. Full sun, zones 3 through 9. Number 5. Garden Valerian. Old gardeners called it garden heliotrope, and a century ago it stood in nearly every American farmhouse garden. Then it simply fell out of fashion, and an entire generation forgot one of the most fragrant hardy perennials in existence. In early summer, valerian sends flower stalks 4 to 5 feet up, topped with airy clouds of white-pink bloom, and the fragrance is enormous. Sweet, rich vanilla honey, broadcast 20 to 30 feet on a warm afternoon. One clump perfumes a whole corner of a yard. Cold hardiness is where it humiliates lavender. Valerian laughs through Zone 3 winters. Minnesota, Montana, the Dakotas, places where lavender is an annual purchase. Valerian is a permanent resident, returning bigger every year and self-sowing gently. This is the same valerian root used in traditional sleep remedies for over 2,000 years, documented back to Hippocrates. The plant by your patio has a resume. Broadcast fragrance, back of the border, upwind of where you sit. Full sun to part shade, average to damp soil, yes damp, zones 3 through 9. Number 6, and here's the one I promised, gas plant. Dictamnus albus, the perennial that produces so much aromatic oil, you can set the air above it on fire. This is documented botany, not folklore. On hot, still evenings, gas plant releases a cloud of volatile lemon-scented oils, so dense that a held match produces a brief, harmless blue flash above the flowers. The plant is completely unharmed. It is the origin of the biblical burning bush theory, and it will make you the most interesting gardener on your street. The everyday experience is a strong, clean, citrus lemon fragrance from flowers and foliage alike, spires of white or soft pink in early summer over handsome glossy leaves. And the longevity is legendary. A gas plant once established lives 50 years or more, thriving on total neglect. The only rule, Plant it once and never move it. It resents disturbance the way old men resent new furniture. One caution: the same oils can irritate skin in sunlight, so plant it to be admired, not brushed. Broadcast fragrance, full sun, zones 3 through 8. 6 plants in, and I want a straight answer. How many of these 6 had you genuinely never heard of before today? The chocolate flower? The flammable gas plant? Drop your number in the comments, because if it is 3 or more, that tells me exactly what kind of plant content American gardeners have been missing, and it shapes what Golden Grove Garden covers next. Number 7. Missouri Evening Primrose, the plant that performs a magic trick every single evening. At dusk, its buds unfurl into enormous 4-inch lemon yellow blooms, and they open fast enough to watch. Under a minute. Families pull chairs up to this plant at sunset like it is theater. And as each flower opens, it releases a sweet lemony perfume engineered by evolution to summon night-flying sphinx moths, which arrive like tiny hummingbirds while you watch. This is a North American native of rocky prairies, deep taproot, total drought-proofing, blooming all summer in blistering heat with zero care. Everything lavender pretends to be on a plant that actually belongs here. Night broadcast fragrance, plant it beside the patio where you sit on summer evenings and get dinner theater with dessert perfume. Full sun, sharp drainage, zones 3 through 8. Number 8. Clove currant, Ribes odoratum, the pioneer's perfume plant, carried west in covered wagons specifically for its scent, and now almost impossible to find in a modern garden center. In mid-spring, its arching branches load with small golden trumpet flowers, releasing an intense clove and vanilla spice fragrance, documented to carry 30 feet or more. Homesteaders called it the buffalo currant and planted it by the cabin door so the whole dooryard smelled of spice in April. It is a tough North American native, thriving in clay, drought, deep cold to zone 4, and total neglect, and it double pays you. After the perfume comes a crop of edible black currants for jams and fresh eating. A fragrant, native, zero-effort perennial shrub that also grows food. That is 4 wins in one planting hole. Broadcast fragrance, near a door, gate, or driveway you use every April day. Full sun to part shade, zones 4 through 8. And number 9, mountain mint, Pycnanthemum muticum, the plant ecologists rave about and gardeners have never met. Brush your hand through it once, and your palm carries a burst of clean, sweet, spearmint menthol fragrance for an hour. Every leaf, every silvery bract is loaded with aromatic oil. This is contact fragrance at its absolute peak. Planted along a path, and every single walk to the mailbox becomes aromatherapy. The credentials are extraordinary. In the Penn State pollinator trials, mountain mint ranked as the single most pollinator-visited plant evaluated, outdrawing every famous butterfly plant in the study. It is a tough Eastern North American native, hardy to zone 4, thriving in clay and humidity, the exact assassins of lavender. And unlike true mints, it clumps politely instead of invading. Silver-dusted foliage, months of bloom, deer-proof aromatic leaves, and a pollinator rhizome no plant on any lavender list can touch. Contact fragrance, line the path you walk every day. Full sun to part shade, zones 4 through 8. 9 plants. Chocolate at breakfast, perfume in the shade, grape soda iris, a flammable burning bush, dusk theater, pioneer spice, and the most pollinator-loved plant in a major university trial. Everyone hardy where lavender dies. If Golden Grove Garden just replaced your dead $15 lavender with 9 plants that will outlive it by decades, hit like right now, 1 click. It tells YouTube to rescue every other gardener currently on their 4th lavender. Before you plant. 3 mistakes that waste even the most fragrant perennials on earth. Mistake 1. Planting fragrance where you never linger. A chocolate flower in the far back corner scents nothing but the fence. Fragrance belongs where your life already happens. The door, the path, the patio, under the bedroom window. Match the plant's fragrance type to the spot. Broadcast plants like valerian and clove currant go upwind of where you sit. Contact plants like mountain mint go beside where you walk. Mistake 2. Ignoring the fragrance clock. Chocolate flower peaks at dawn. August lily and evening primrose after dusk. Iris and clove currant at midday. Plant a morning bloomer by the coffee spot and an evening bloomer by the dinner patio. And your garden hands you perfume on your actual schedule instead of while you are at work. Mistake 3. Killing tough plants with kindness. Almost everything on today's list wants lean soil and less water than you think. Rich fertilizer and daily irrigation produce floppy growth, fewer flowers, and because fragrance oils concentrate under mild stress, measurably weaker scent. Plant them, water the first season, and then do the hardest thing in gardening. Leave them alone. The no-effort promise in this title is real, but only if you actually withhold the effort. 3 questions, real answers. Question 1. Which of the 9 goes in your garden first, and where exactly are you putting it? Door, path, or patio? Name the plant and the spot. Question 2. The debate. Is lavender worth fighting for in a climate that hates it, or is swapping to plants that actually belong the smarter gardening? Defend your side. I know there are Zone 8 dry climate gardeners ready to fight me in the comments. Bring it. Question 3. And the one I want you to sit with. What is the single most powerful fragrance memory you carry from a garden? And whose garden was it? Grandmother's violets? A neighbor's iris? Tell me the plant and the person. Because that memory is the real reason we plant fragrance at all. And your answer might be the exact plant someone else scrolling these comments decides to grow. Here is what I want you to carry out of this video. You never actually wanted lavender. You wanted what lavender promised. The scent that stops you on the path at the end of a long day. The perfume through the window screen on a June night. The garden that reaches you before you even see it. Lavender made that promise and, in most of America, broke it. Over and over, at $15 a funeral. The 9 plants on today's list, keep it. In your clay, through your humidity, under your snow, for decades. A native that smells like chocolate at dawn. A hosta that perfumes the dark side of the house. A violet that built an industry. An iris that smells like grape soda. A burning bush you can prove with a match. Dusk theater. Pioneer spice, and a silver-leafed native that turns every walk to the mailbox into a handful of mint. Pull the dead lavender this weekend. Plant 2 of these in its place, one for morning, one for evening. And next year, when a visitor stops on your path, closes their eyes and asks, "What is that?" you will have a much better answer than lavender. You will have a discovery. If this video just saved you from buying lavender number 4, share it. Send it to the friend whose lavender is dying right now. You will save them $15 and hand them a chocolate-scented native instead. Like the video. Subscribe to Golden Grove Garden, and I will see you in the next one, where we keep replacing the plants that keep failing with the ones that never do.